Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDO 44 coming at you with another video. So, in all of the years of watching basketball, I've been watching basketball for about probably almost 30 years now. In all my years of watching basketball, I don't think I've ever quite seen highlights like I saw just now with the Houston Rockets and the Boston Celtics. Now, my Laker game is on right now. Maybe I'll be able to watch a link, maybe I won't. So, for now, I'm just going around watching highlights, and I'll try to catch up on the links if I can. If not, then I'll just catch my Lakers the same way as I'm watching these. But I had to get on camera and just give credit to some people. Um, First of all, the Houston Rockets fans did a great job at cheering on their team tonight because I was looking at the game, watching them play, and I looked at what was going on in terms of momentum, how the fans were reacting to the players and how they were playing. And then you look at the score, and the score doesn't match what's going on at all. I've watched basketball for 30 years and I've never seen the winning team on the road up 12 looking as if they're down because all the momentum is in the home team whose fans are going crazy like they're up because their young players are playing so well. I've never seen that before. And I've been watching Laker games with a lot of young teams, especially lately. Different teams I've seen grow over the years. I've never seen anything like that. I could not honestly tell you. Like, if I were to cover the score up and just watch the game, the momentum and the way the teams looked, both teams, it was the complete opposite. The Boston Celtics looked dejected. They were playing as if they didn't really have it in some cases during those highlights. And the Rockets were breaking records. Shooting threes, doing all kinds of highlights, high energy plays, the fans going crazy, and I look at the score, they're down by 12. And I'm like, what is going on? But I tell you what was going on. Jalen Green was giving everybody in Houston an understanding of what exactly they're in for. This dude broke the record for NBA for 3-point shots for the Houston Rockets for their particular team. The 8 was the record that they had for their team. I don't know who had set that record previously, but he broke it tonight in his third, if I'm not mistaken, probably third NBA basketball game. I've told everybody this, and I'm saying it again. This is one of the greatest rookie classes in the history of the NBA. I don't know where they're going to land because it's going to be about longevity. But out the gate, in terms of high impact players, I can't remember a draft that has had more high impact players. Maybe the 96 draft, maybe the 03 draft with Braun and Wade in them. Those are the only two other drafts that I can even compare to what I'm looking at right now in my lifetime. Now, before that, I don't know. But I'm talking about since I've been watching basketball, this is top three greatest draft classes. Because what I'm seeing from Jalen Green, Chris Doherty, Evan Mobley, who else, man? Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs in spurts, although he's been kind of spurting around a little bit. Alperen Sengun, Off Night, the stuff that Off Night is doing. Davion Mitchell on the defensive end. Forget the offensive end with him. Defensively, he is impressing as much as anyone. He may actually win Rookie of the Year by locking people down every night. It might be an unprecedented situation where the Rookie of the Year don't average but like 4 points because this dude is that devastating on the defensive end against high quality all NBA talent. Every single night he's locking somebody up, turning some great player into not so good, having given them an off night. It is unprecedented what Davion Mitchell is doing out there. He's as they say, one of those sit in the chair type of defenders. He epitomizes that. He may be one of the best to do that when it's all said and done if he keeps up like the way he's starting his career. It's just unprecedented. So I'm telling you, and Scotty Barnes looked like he's gonna be an all-star this year? Why even wait? That's how good he looks. And Evan Mobley. Now see, I'm not necessarily surprised at all by what I'm seeing from Evan Mobley because I did my homework on that kid just like I did my homework on all these rookies. And I know exactly how elite he is as a prospect. Elite. And so, like, I respect all that we're talking about in regards to every other player. But out the gate, Evan Mobley is doing something that I don't think I've seen before either. And you know, I say that loosely because I haven't really thought too much about it, to be completely honest with everybody. But what he's doing is so extraordinary that it hasn't been done very often. In his first 3 games in the NBA, this dude has literally done something in every statistical category recorded, major statistical category recorded. Something. Steals, blocks, points, assists, and rebounds. He has done all of those in every game to start his career. And we're not just talking about 2 points, 3 points. No, he's dropped 4 blocks, 17 points, 11 boards, 3 assists. Like, these are his numbers in various games. If he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, because I know I've mentioned Davion Mitchell could win on the defensive end. If he doesn't win it, it will be because he didn't stay healthy all season. Because if he does this for 82, there's not going to be anybody who's going to be able to catch up to what it is that he's doing. That's what it's going to really come down to. It'll be a hell of a race, but since he got out in front in such a way that fills up so much of the box score, I think if this continues, he will be the one that wins it. I think the race will be tight. It'll probably be between about 8 guys, but Evan Mobley is the clear-cut best rookie in this class, in my opinion, right now. And that's with Jalen Green breaking the Rockets' 3-point record today. That's with Scotty Barnes looking amazing. That's with Chris Daugherty stepping out, doing good things. That's with Davion Mitchell locking people up. And that's with Cade Cunningham having not even played one single basketball game. What I'm seeing from Evan Mobley is clear-cut, undeniable stuff right there. And the thing about it is, you know for a fact that with his length and his basketball IQ, this is not going to stop. When we talk about players like Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh and all players with these lengths and all that, be very clear. They didn't start their career this hot. They didn't start their career as high impact as Evan Mobley. No, they did not. So I'm of the mindset that the Cleveland Cavaliers have picked up a game changer in that particular kid, as did most of these teams that had a first 15 pick in this draft. Anybody that had a draft pick in this had an opportunity to pick up a game changer, in my opinion. That's how serious this draft happens to be. Alperen Sengun looks really good, as I've said, or Sengun, I'm not sure how to say his name still, but I do know for a fact that this kid is continuing to play well. He's going up against people. He's bodying people up. He's doing his best to be as physical as possible, and he looks really good out there. He's not as doing as much statistically as some of those other guys, but he looks just as sound, and his upside is just as high. So it's a lot of great stuff you're seeing out there from these rookies, man. And I, for one, am enjoying every bit of it. So I just want to get up here and just express that. Jalen Green, congratulations on breaking that record. That was awesome. He showed his athleticism, and he showed you exactly what he can do from a momentum and an entertainment standpoint. Because everybody in that arena, though they walked out of there with a loss, they felt good about themselves. They enjoyed what they saw, and they know for a fact that this team is going to be able to bring victories to them going forward if they stay together. Christian Wood looks as good as I told you he did. He's going to be an all-star probably this year. KPJ looks great. He was shining out there too. And you can just see it, man. Tate was shining like crazy out there, dunking on people, screaming, looking great, being smart inside. As I've discussed with you guys, he's an inside player who happens to be able to do a lot of different things. Speaking of inside players, I want to give some credit to the Boston Celtics, Grant Williams. And this is a player that I kind of dogged when I did some homework on his skill set. He's a player who's supposed to be projected to be a back-to-the-basket, undersized, power forward, small forward combination with apparently no ability to shoot the ball, but a nice ability to be 50-50 guy, diving diving to the rim, getting rebounds, stuff like that. Does a lot of good things. This guy hit 5 threes tonight. And this is the thing, man. When a guy can just ball and he's really, really great at certain things that don't really translate to what it is that the NBA says is, today's best game play, you automatically want to write a guy off as somebody who's not going to be able to help a team, or write a guy off as somebody who ain't going to be able to expand his game just because of what he's profiled to be. And Grant Williams was one of those players. to where you just look at him and they say, okay, undersized, inside guy, back to the basket mostly, looks to kind of pass from inside when double teams come. Like, who's going to want to, in this era, throw the ball down to a guy who's undersized and have him kind of like play that way? I guess his skill set in theory doesn't work, but every time I watch him play, he's balling. And that's what I'm starting to realize about Grant Williams. And I listen to the Boston Celtics media talk about him. They have the same opinion about him as I did. They don't really like the guy's game. They love him as a person. They talk great about him as a person, but they just didn't love his game. But then as you're sitting there watching them talk about him, he's down there doing good stuff. He's grabbing boards. He's getting layups. He's getting offensive rebounds. And he's putting himself in a position to be helpful to the Boston Celtics. If Grant Williams continues to play as well as he is, he changes the game for the Boston Celtics. Because when you look at that Boston Celtics bench, the one thing you say about the Boston Celtics bench is some of the players on the back of the bench just haven't developed properly, and Grant Williams is one of the shining examples of that. Well, not if he's out here hitting 5 3-point shots in one game. And not to say that I'm expecting him to hit threes like this, but the point is he's able to hit the three now, which means all that back to the basket crap about how he's not going to be able to fit in this league, out the window. Grant Williams is a player. He works hard. And I'm learning to respect what it is that he's able to do out there. And I have him on my radar in a positive light. And he's a prime example of one of those situations where just don't necessarily think you know what a player is going to be or what he's about just because a couple scouts tell you what they see in a player. If a guy's a gamer, he's a gamer. And if he's going to get out there and help a team, he's going to get out there and help a team no matter what his skill set is supposed to quote-unquote be. Some guys are just gamers. And I think Grant Williams is a gamer. So I'm watching him with a positive look, and I'm going to say positive things because he's defying the odds straight up, and I like what I'm seeing out there. So, yeah, that was very important. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And, of course, with the Boston Celtics, they won the game. Jalen Brown did not play, but Jason Tatum was on fire. He did great things. Time Lord is looking good out there. His conditioning is where it needs to be. He's blocking shots. He's doing the stuff you want him to do. Marcus Smart was pretty good out there. I think he's a little banged up, but he's out there. He looked good. Dennis Schroeder popped off the page for them very well. Al Horford is exactly what they needed. The Boston Celtics needed Al Horford to come back like the Lakers needed Dwight Howard to come back. And Al Horford has been excellent for them. He popped off the screen for that team tonight. Had a good sequence with the rookie Sengun, where he was able to get the best of the kid on both sides of the floor when the kid was working really, really hard. So that tells you that Al Horford has a lot left in the tank if he can outwork a young rookie like that. So, Boston should be very encouraged. They got their butts whooped a couple nights ago in embarrassing fashion against a Toronto team that's catching everybody off guard. But what I also see is a Boston team that is getting something out of the players that I said, the Grant Williams, and some of the guys that just have not been considered growing as strong as you want them to see. They're starting off this season the way you want to see them do. So I like what I'm seeing out of Boston. I personally think they're a top 6 deep team in terms of how strong their bench is. I think they have one of the deepest benches in the league. And they just got to continue to get the most out of their superstars. If that continues to be the case, because they have Dennis Schroeder at such a small price, he makes them that much better than a lot of the other teams around. When you think about like what Kyrie Irving is missing, what the Nets are missing without Kyrie Irving, what the Philadelphia 76ers are missing without Ben Simmons. It's not just those players particularly. It's what their contracts can represent. And when you have that little bit of the cap in Dennis Schroeder playing as well as he does, or some of these other rookies that I've already mentioned who are on rookie contracts taking up only a little bit of your cap, you are in a position to get so much better. And that's why I look at a guy like Kyrie Irving and saying, wow, you're really hurting your team. Not just by not being there, but because of look what Boston was able to carve with just a couple $1 million. You know what I mean? And Kyrie represents how many Dennis Schroeders in terms of his value? So it's like you just want to make sure you have that value represented on the floor. When it's hurt, you live with that. But when the guy's not hurt, it really does become a situation where this is what's missing. Like imagine a bunch of little pieces like this, a bunch of little Dennis Schroeder contracts helping your team. Like you could win a championship, you got enough of those. So yeah, that's just something that kind of comes to mind when I think about that, how I view these different things when I talk about them. So yeah, man, I'm going back in. The Lakers are playing the Memphis Grizzlies right now. I believe it's Memphis. We haven't gotten a single win in the preseason or the season itself, so it would be very nice if we can just kind of overpower this team and get a victory. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure the Lakers are winning this game either. Why? Because Ja Morant is starting off this season like an all-star. Jaren Jackson Jr. is starting this season off like an all-star. Desmond Bane is starting this season off very well. And they got a lot of players on top of that who are playing well too. Clark's is playing well, all kinds of stuff. So I haven't glanced at the score. Hopefully the Lakers are doing good things right now. I'm going to go check that out and see. Thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44. I'm out.